Dude, don't do it, please. You're healthy and don't need it. Do you know what's in it? Bad news. What are you talking about, Jimbo Morrison? Give me some facts. I guess you're an anti-vax guy. We're starting nice and early this morning because I'm getting vaccinated for the COVID-19, man. I actually got to leave this apartment in about, I don't know, like 45 minutes. So I'm one of the first to get the shot this morning here in New York City. We were supposed to be back at the beach by now, but I got an appointment. Holy crap. I knew if I got to New York City, I could get an appointment for the vaccination. 9 countries are stopping vaccines, Jimbo Morrison says. Why are you scaring me, Jimbo Morrison? Why are you doing that? Do it, Opie. It's a good idea. Rich Donovan got vaccinated 2 weeks ago. No side effects. You got the J&J. I'm going to get my microchip today. Yeah, it's Microchip Monday on your home of rock and roll. That's a joke. People take this stuff very seriously. I don't think there's no microchips in the shot. Of course, I don't believe that. They already track us, you idiots, through our phones, right? Yeah, it's a big empty room. My in-laws took it and can't taste their food and are always sick, Jimbo Morrison says. Oh my God. Maybe I should have turned this on just before I go and get a vaccination shot for the coronavirus. I have to do it. I'm an older father. How old are you, Jimbo Morrison? How old are you? Because I'm in my 50s now. I know I play young, but I'm in my 50s with young kids. I don't think I have a choice. I think if I was younger, you know what? I'll go 15 years younger. I probably would skate. You're 40, you're 48. I got a few years on you, Jimbo. I got to get the hell out of New York City. It's so weird. It was a beautiful weekend here. And sad to say, we pretty much stayed in our apartment. The streets, the parks, everything was incredibly crowded. Everyone's wearing masks, but no one's really social distancing anymore. Oh my God. Opie is kind of a douche. I mean, why am I kind of a douche? I don't think you're wrong. I think I am kind of a douche. But Jesus, it's 6:34 here in New York City. I looked down in the comments. Opie's kind of a douche. What the fuck, dude? What are you doing, man? I mean, the only reason you know me is because I was a shock jock back in the day. So I guess that would qualify me for being a douche. People are wearing masks outside. People are wearing masks in the park. I was biking the last few days, loving my loops in the park. It's one of my favorite things to do in the entire world is to jump on my bike, preferably later in the day when all the farmers go home, all the tourists start walking out of the park and they're clueless that bikes are going by at 25, 30 miles an hour. They just walk across the street. No clue in the world, just looking up like, oh, look at all the tall buildings. I wonder if this is where John Lennon lived when he was alive. Is that the Ghostbusters house over there? Vroom, vroom, as bikes are flying by them, missing them by inches. I heard Madonna lived somewhere around here, and Conan O'Brien when he used to live in New York. Maybe we should stop and ask somebody where these people lived. Fucking idiots. As bikes are just nipping them. Every year there's like horrendous bike crashes in Central Park. Usually it's an aggressive New York City biker who's dressed like Lance Armstrong and a stupid farmer that's not paying attention. And man, there's an impact that you could hear all the way down to Hell's Kitchen. And then everyone starts doing the looky-loo thing. Oh my God, what do you think happened? I don't know. I can't really figure this out, but she looks like she's in bad shape. Oh my God. Guy incognito. I'm going to read this cold. Opie, I have to ask, what do you think Patrice would have made of all this pandemic stuff, elections, and all that? He seemed to me to be contrarian by nature. Thoughts? I think he would have been tickled by Mr. Trump, but he would not have liked Mr. Trump. I'm not sure if Patrice was a voter. I think he would have broke down the pandemic coronavirus thing, but Patrice had diabetes and he wasn't a healthy fella. So I think he would have taken the coronavirus very, very seriously, but he would have found all the sweet spots and he would have gave us a damn good beating about the whole fucking thing. One of the reasons why I loved him to death, he understood the bullshit of Washington and he understood the bullshit of politics. He would have taken shots at both sides, which is so refreshing. I said that recently on my Twitter. I want to find more people that are against the whole system in general. I believe in America, but I think these assholes in Washington are fucking ruining it. And I just want to find more people that are not rah for one party over the other. That's my goal now, I think. Jimbo Morrison, been a listener since 98. Stern said something about Opie and Anthony. I found you guys. I never looked back. I got an interesting Stern story. So me and Anthony were literal nobodies up there in Boston, but we were making our way and we were building a pretty huge following up there, but we weren't known around the country. And I guess Stern did a bit called Black Jeopardy or something. And being radio show host, excuse me, there was some article in the paper about minorities in Jeopardy. Maybe the fact that they didn't really have a lot of minorities on Jeopardy or something like that. So there's an article in the paper. And so me and Anthony, being fucking hilarious and knowing how to entertain our audience, we're like, wait a minute, minorities, Jeopardy, bit written. And we did a quick bit on the radio, right? And then some asshole that was a huge Stern fan in Boston, he sent the bit to Howard. We were nobodies. Like now everyone knows who Opie and Anthony are. Oh my God. Every other podcaster is doing our show from 10 years ago. Holy fuck. Of course they know who we are. So some asshole sends it to Howard like, hey, these guys in Boston are ripping you off, Howard. And I know I never heard of Howard's bit Black Jeopardy, and I can't speak for Anthony, but even if that's the case, we're radio guys, we're funny guys, we're entertaining our audience. There's an article in the paper. We went for it. I remember the bit being funny for the time. People seemed to like it. And for some reason, Howard thought we were ripping him off, right? And he started talking about us. Do you know that my program director at WAAF, the only station that really rocks, it was becoming a big deal that Howard was talking about us. This guy panicked and tried to tell me it was a bad thing that Howard Stern was talking about Opie and Anthony on his massively huge syndicated radio show. He's talking about these dopes up in Boston that are still trying to, build an audience and make a name for themselves. And this idiot of a PD was so nervous that Howard was mentioning us. He tried to sit me down, or he pulled me aside and said, this is really, really bad. And you should spin out of this. I'm like, I ain't fucking spinning out of this. Hell fucking no. What a fucking dope. I think the guy was scared of success and our success. I'm like, this is a great thing. Because he was heard in Boston as well. So now you got the biggest show in Boston talking about these guys in afternoon that are ripping him off. How this works is now a bunch of Howard Stern fans are going to go, let me listen to these fucking assholes and see what they're all about, these rip-off artists. And then they tune us in and we're being hilarious. And then guess what happens? We gain new fans. That's why it was a good thing that Howard was talking about us back in the day, you idiot. So it wasn't a bad thing that Howard was mentioning us back in the day. And we weren't ripping off Howard Stern. Christ. I, for one, barely listened to the guy when I was coming up. Yeah, and that is true, Tony Hubner. The reason why Howard yelled and screamed that everyone was ripping him off was because Howard Stern was ripping off radio shows. I think you guys know that if you study human nature. The person that's screaming the loudest usually is the one that is guilty of the crime. you know, the like people that don't like gay people and they're on their high horse screaming and yelling about gay people. And then it turns out that they were bad boys. They were bad boys when the mics and the cameras were off. That's always been the case through history. So when Howard was yelling and screaming that every show was ripping him off, and certainly there was a time where a whole bunch of people definitely started doing Howard's style. You know, I can relate to that because then they started doing it to the Opie and Anthony Show. But when he was yelling and screaming that he was being ripped off, it was a known fact that he was taking bits from Steve Dahl. And I'm trying to remember some of the fucking guys. There was a whole list of them. But he was absolutely guilty of ripping off other radio shows. He was ripping off Robin's panties. Richard Cooper, are you all right? You might need some coffee before you start pushing that send button. Oh, can you imagine? Oh, God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I never understood. I never understood why Florentine went out with Robin. I gotta be honest. But Florentine was in a weird place in his life. So, you know, you gotta let him slide on that. But I always found that so weird. Why am I doing that? Robin's always been nice to me. She lives in that building right there. See, that's why you tune these in. This is a little slow live stream. I'm very, very distracted. I just want to get the shot done and wait the 15, 20 minutes, make sure I don't fall on the fucking floor, and then go about my day. Robin's always been nice to me. But it goes to the point that I make on the latest episode of the Opie Radio Podcast. You know, the two-faced bullshit, because I'll see Robin in the neighborhood. It's been a few years. I can't over exaggerate this. It's been a few years, but we kind of walk the same path to our abodes, and every once in a while I would walk with Robin, and she couldn't have been nicer. We're just chit-chatting, very, very small talk, but very, very nice. Someone that is very, very pleasant. And then, you know, and then she would go on the radio, and when Howard started his garbage about O&A, she would jump right in. And I'm like, I remember thinking to myself, I was just walking with her a week or two ago. And she thought I was very, very nice, and we were having a very, very nice conversation. And I know a lot of this is entertainment, but I think the one thing that I pride myself on is the fact that me and Anthony were always so god darn Gary Krasinski. Oh, wait. Or is the God part the curse? Ah, man. Gosh darn. We were very, very honest. We weren't going to be nice to your face and then trash you on the air. Unless I bet you there were a couple occasions we did do that. But in general, that was not our thing. Where's Anthony nowadays? Oh, Robert Heckler. How the fuck would I know? You do know we have very, very separate lives, right? I don't keep tabs on him, right? I actually blocked him on all social media because of all the dumb shots he was taking at me. Could you imagine? You fast forward a whole bunch of years and you're actually blocking the guy that you did a hugely successful radio show with. Can you imagine that? I had to block him. So I honestly don't know what he's up to. And once again, now we're pushing close to 7 years that I haven't even seen him. Literally haven't seen him. And I got mad because I'll probably put it up on the Facebook page, but it's been out there for a while. I had to listen to the first phone call we did after not talking for over 2 years. And it just pisses me off because there was no reason whatsoever at that point in time for Anthony to go back to hating. None whatsoever. We had our issues. I started a new show. I decided the new show should start with taking a phone call from Ed. It went very, very well. And then we did another, 5 or 6 phone calls after that. And it was going very, very well, even though we still had our issues. But that could easily have led to something. And then he turned on a dime and went back to hating me. And then the hate really fucking ramped up. and continues to this day. And I was listening to that first call going, it's just too bad because the O&A brand is worth, I'm not going to lie to you, millions and millions of dollars. And, here we sit with not even a possibility of ever doing anything again. So it's kind of sad. I think doing the show on a regular basis was absolutely over. But with those phone calls, it did show that we could keep the brand going somehow, some way. But that's history now, man. Oh, God, number one, what are you doing? Opie, would you be open to do the Chip Chipperson podcast without Ant? No. Why would I do that? I think honestly, I know Chip Chipperson, Jim Norton's fucking cartoon podcast does very, very well, but I'm embarrassed for Jimmy that's where he decided to take his career. God, I wouldn't do that. No. And I know that sounds weird because now people go, well, he has way more views than you do on YouTube. Yes, he does. But I'm embarrassed for him. That whole thing is really embarrassing. And it's one reason why the O&A show fucking got ruined. When Jimmy started obsessing about his characters and how to fucking put him in pretty much everything we were doing at every single possible moment he could squeeze in those voices, he did. But if you like listening to that or watching it, God bless you, but I'm not going to be a part of it. I really do think it's very, very embarrassing. Ooh, Paris Hilton calls. She wants to do a show with you, Ope. Ooh, vapid and the dope in the morning. Pew, pew, pew. A pew, pew, pew. Ann said some dumb shit yesterday about backstage at O&A about you and Tracy Morgan that you was nervous. What an ass. Yeah, I was very, very nervous on the virus tours. I also knew we had to go out in front of, at sometimes 15,000 people, and me and Anthony didn't like each other or got along. So it was a very uncomfortable situation, to say the fucking least. Anthony was working against me many, many years before the whole thing blew up. Many, many years he was working against me. And at any chance he got, he was working against me, which is, I find incredibly sick, considering how massively huge we were. That's the point, Chip being embarrassing. That's the joke, number one. But I'm embarrassed for not Chip. I'm embarrassed for Jim Norton, number one. I understand how things work. Like I said, if you like it, whatever. I don't really care what people watch or listen to. If you enjoy it, God bless you. But I think it's incredibly embarrassing for Jim Norton, the man. I understand that's the whole take on the podcast. Write a book, James Shaver says. I blew the book deal a long time ago. Me and Anthony had a massive book deal, early days of SiriusXM. It was for 7 figures for each guy. This is the truth. And all of a sudden, the company and my agent got together and basically said, if you write a book and trash Howard, you pretty much might, they were hinting, but might not have a job here anymore. My agent, he's like, well, you guys could still write a book. I'm like, how do we write a book without talking about the Howard Stern shit? He put us through hell and back. So long story short, I said nope. I said nope to a 7-figure deal. I believe Anthony was on the same page that day. He said nope. We basically said no to $1 million fucking dollars because they wanted us to write a book without talking about Howard Stern. Can you imagine? The book deal sort of went away, or the numbers for that book kept dropping year after year dramatically. So, Guy Incognito. Hey, Jason, I'm not an idiot. I get it. But Opie thought I was calling him a racist when, to be fair, he always tried to keep things civil when Ant was saying wild shit. Yeah, that's true, Guy. I didn't know what the fuck I stepped into. That was definitely was not the show I wanted to be doing. But I lost control of that show before that, and then that show became very, very right wing. A lot of gun talk, a lot of racist issues in America, a lot of Obama hate. I remember thinking, like, if we started at 6 or 7, depending, because we moved our hours, I knew I didn't have to do shit for the first hour because I knew Anthony was just going to go off on all this crazy ass shit. And I fucking hated it. And he was good at it. Yes, he was, but it wasn't what I signed up for. And I understand when you do a show with somebody for a very, very long time, things certainly will change. But unfortunately, that change I was not on board for whatsoever. He probably should have left years before he did and started up that conservative talk shit. He probably would have been very, very successful at it. But I fucking hated it. And I remember a day, me and Jimmy weren't getting along either. But I remember the day he brought in a discussion on eugenics. He believed in the whole eugenics thing. And then me and Jimmy looked at each other like, holy fuck, we're going to get... I think Jimmy was thinking the same thing. Like, we could get fired for this. And God, no, I didn't read Anthony's book. People are like, how do you sit there and not read his book? I don't know. I just simply didn't. I had no desire to read Anthony's book. I know he trashed me a lot in it because people told me, but I had no desire to read it. If you can get on Twitter and say those things and not get fired, you think you all would still be together, Jimbo Morrison? We probably would have been together in some form. Do you think Harry the Hater was embarrassing in retrospect? Number one, not at all. It was one of the characters I did. I kind of like doing it still, but I didn't throw away my entire career to try to do Harry Hater. That's my whole point. And I'm here to say that when Jimmy would throw in his characters here and there, I did like it. It's when he started obsessing about his characters and threw it into every single little thing we did to make everybody uncomfortable and stop the flow of a radio show. Yeah, I was fucking frustrated by all that. If others weren't, so be it. But I can only talk for myself. I was very, very frustrated by that. And in my opinion, I don't think it was the smartest thing for the radio show. Others would probably say differently. So, good for them. So it wasn't like I hated his characters. I hated what they became. We'd be having a damn decent conversation with somebody, and then all of a sudden he just threw in like the Chip or somebody else or Uncle Paul, and everyone would just have to stop. And then some people that didn't have to like be actually on the air, they'd be laughing because they were like, "Oh, that's fucking weird and uncomfortable," and just completely stopped everything. And at times, sure, that worked, but when he was doing it over and over again, it was a fucking nightmare, to be honest with you. All right, look, I got to get vaccinated. It's my turn, and hopefully we'll be back at the ocean. If that's the case, I want to try to turn this on again later on this afternoon. I got merch, opieradio.com, some new shirts. The canceled T-shirt's doing very, very well, and the other one is doing okay as also, which is cancel culture. Check them out at opieradio.com. All right, I got to go, though. I got to go get vaccinated. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Bring it up to speed. Hang on, everybody. There she goes.
And just like that, we are back at the ocean. Rachel's asking, how's the microchip lamp shop? Yeah, I got my, you can't even joke about that. I got my first shot of the vaccination yesterday. A lot of people are very, very mad that I got vaccinated. Very, very mad. Why would you do that, they say? We live in a very, very strange world. As you know, I went to the city for a week, a little over a week. We put my daughter back in school. She's been in school, but in-person learning, I guess they call it, right? And then as the week was going on, I was talking to some of the mommies, and one of the mommies said, "You're not vaccinated yet? Here's a link." I clicked on that damn link, and to my surprise, they gave me a an appointment right away, and I had none of the things. I had none of the things you check off. None of them. And I was suspicious because, my age group isn't being vaccinated yet. But now it makes sense because New York City just opened it up today for 50 plus. So, and I went to the Javits Center on my electric scooter yesterday. And I looked at the army man. And I said, can I bring my scooter in? And he looked at me like I had two heads. Like, no one is asking to bring their electric scooters in here. And then I said, well, can the army man over there watch my scooter while I get vaccinated? And he was very, very confused by the whole thing. Whoa, very confused. But they watched my scooter, my electric scooter, the army men. And then, man, was it organized. It was very, very creepy how organized it was. It's like follow the yellow arrow, and then you check in. You got the barcode on your phone. And then stupid me, I would have been out of there. What a boring loser. Oh, my God. Why are you doing this, Patrick Michael? This isn't boring, you idiot. Why do I piss people off so much? Why is it that I can piss off people so easily all these years later? Why is that? Don't answer the question, you son of a bitch. You mad lefty liberal. Damn. I'm a lefty liberal now? Oh my goodness, dude. How is that possible? All right, anyway. So then I followed the yellow arrows. Then I was stupid enough to say, well, I got some allergies. And then they put me on another line, but the whole line moved really, really fast, and I had to talk to a nurse about my allergies. And at one point, she wanted me to describe my allergies. And I said, well, I'm allergic to trees and grass and dogs and cats. And they're like, well, none of that stuff is in the vaccine. She was getting annoyed. I go, well, what about stone fruits? I'm allergic to apples. And she goes, well, what happens when you eat apples? I'm like, all right, if you want to hear this. And I go, well, I get explosive diarrhea. She goes, will you just follow that army man? So she didn't really want to hear about my explosive diarrhea, which was kind of a bummer for the kid. So then I followed another army man, and I sat down. At this point, I was in the Javits Center for less than 15 minutes, tops. Sat down. A nice lady was talking to me. She asked me my birthday. I said May 23rd. And she goes, oh, my God, that's my birthday. I'm like, well, then I'm in good hands. And then they're babbling. What do you do? And I go, I don't do anything. I used to be somebody. Oh, really? And then I was trying to explain that I used to be somebody. Then they didn't really care. They didn't care at all. And then the lady's like, do you give me permission to give you your first vaccination shot? I'm like, well, if your birthday's on May 23rd, I do. And she's like, oh, my God. Ah! She's laughing. What a dumb, stupid joke. But she went for it. And then they did the shot. And then you sit in this giant room just watching this clock because I guess if you don't drop after 15 minutes, you're good. You can just go home. So I'm just looking at the clock, hoping I don't pass out or anything as I wait for my 15 minutes to be up. And nothing happened. And then I said, thank you, Army man, because there were Army men all over the place. And then I got my scooter and I got the hell out of there. I was kind of bummed I have to go back for the second shot. But I got my first shot. I'm very happy about it. What's up, Pat Duffy? Good morning. I was just watching some YouTube video with you from your Gore Mountain trip. That's how I started my day, Pat Duffy. Watching you have a good time skiing and snowboarding and whatever else you guys are doing up there. Type yes if you think Opie's better than Ant at radio and podcasting. I don't compete with Ant. He's not in my fucking life. I don't give a fuck if he's the greatest fucking broadcaster of all time. I don't give two shits about that. And I know you're probably trying to be nice, but I don't compete with the guy. Thank God. Thank God. Chuck Lynn, any headaches? That was my only side effect. I'll tell you what my side effect was. Incredible tiredness. But then again, when I was in the city, I was working out a lot. I was doing loops in the park with my bike, which is one of my favorite things to do in the entire world, believe it or not, is to get on my bike, usually after the farmers go home and the park starts clearing out as the sun's kind of starting to go down. And you do one full loop. It's like, oh, shit, I forgot. I think it's like 7 miles with a lot of hills. It's a great workout and a lot of fun, a lot of people watching and stuff. So I did a lot of those loops while I was in the city, and it's the most I've moved in over a year. And then I got the shot yesterday, and I came home, and I was fucking tired, man. And they said one of the side effects was that you could get really, really tired and get one of the best night's sleeps of your life. And I'm thinking, yeah, but what if it's the type of tired where you don't fucking wake up? So you're a little paranoid by that. But also, as soon as I got the shot, we packed up the car and we headed back here to my happy place, the goddamn ocean. So I got a sore arm, a little bit. You felt hungover, Todd? And I'm very, very happy I did it. And I posted a goofy little picture on my socials about it, joking about the Bill Gates microchip angle, which obviously is not true whatsoever. I said, now that I have this thing, I don't need Google Maps anymore. And people are like, oh my God, they're laughing and stuff. But, obviously all that's BS. Yeah, I got the Pfizer. It's kind of fun when you go to the Javits Center because they don't really tell you what you're going to get until the last minute. And then they go, okay, so we're going to give you the first shot of the Pfizer vaccination. Jimbo Morrison, I'm still here. Jimbo was very worried about this. What's up, Hope? Wish you would have gotten the J&J one shot. I saw your merch channel. We'll be getting a couple shirts. Ballsy shirts. 3 channels and 2 genders, LOL. Is that t-shirt up there? It's for the older people out there that just need a little time to assimilate to the new world we live in. So it's a joke shirt that basically says, I come from a time of 3 channels and 2 genders. That's all. Just trying to have a little fun with the older audience that just needs a little time to kind of catch up. That's all. Yeah, Max, you're right. What I don't understand is why does it matter if someone gets a vaccine or not? It's a personal choice. What's good for one might not be good for another. Worry about you. Yeah, I think everyone should get vaccinated, but I'm not a doctor or a scientist. But in my little circle, in my little family, we've all been doing our research, and we decided, you know what? We should get this done, especially because I'm an older father with very young kids. And this guy was like, do you even know what you're doing by getting a vaccination shot and then trying to say all the stuff that will happen or what's in the shot? Most of that is conspiracy crap, right? And then I want to write the guy back. I want to write. I got to do this carefully. I want to write. I'm an older gentleman that stayed up one night with a Madonna wannabe doing a lot of, a lot. And then I was playing Joshua Tree all night long, praying that I would see the sunrise. So why would I be worried about getting vaccinated? And I don't do any of that crap anymore. It's been many, 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 God, I have to say decades at this point. Yeah, exactly, Steve Daly. Cement dust lunch bags. Yeah, I used to carry my lunch in an old cement bag. Not a lot. I don't want to exaggerate, but certainly more than once. I would put that at a few times. But you know what's in cement dust? And my stupid apple with the bruise was rolling around in the cement dust. And all I did was just wipe it on my probably stupid whoop, 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 my corduroys whoop, 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 as I'm walking down the hall. Nothing says cool like this noise. Whoop, 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 whoop. And the Wonder Bread shoes. Oh, Chico. I dreamed of having Wonder Bread shoes. We were so poor. How poor were you? 1 haircut a year and 1 pair of sneakers a year. You are a joke. Oh my God, this guy thinks I'm a joke. I don't know what to do with that comment. I'm a joke, people. He's gone. They pop up like, whack-a-moles, and then, and then they get really mad if you block them. So that guy will be back. And one pair of sneakers that we had to wear the entire year. So, you're a kid. The holes come quickly and often. And then when the winter months roll around, you only have your sneakers. So what this guy's referring to is the Wonder Bread shoes or whatever, or Wonder Bread sneakers. I would put plastic bags on my feet and slide them into my sneakers with the holes. But we weren't rich enough. We were too poor to have Wonder Bread. I told you when we used to go to our friends' houses for what is now known as play dates. Yeah, we also come from a time where our parents just dropped us off at our friends' houses, and that was it. And then you just stayed there all day, and then they picked you up in time for dinner. It was like some deal the mothers made, like, all right, it's my turn. You get some peace and quiet, and I'll take your kids in after school until dinner time so you can fucking breathe. When we used to go to our friends' houses, they had the Wonder Bread, and having a nice sandwich after school on Wonder Bread was just delightful. We never had Wonder Bread in our house. It was the very thinly sliced Pepperidge Farm bread, thinly sliced because it wasn't a big seller, so it was cheap. It was fucking cheap. So we used the Pepperidge Farm bags on our feet to try to keep us from getting pneumonia from being out in the slush in the wintertime. Try to keep our feet dry with the bags. Chuck Taylors? Are you crazy, RJNers? I didn't see a name brand until I was in my easily in my 20s. Chuck Taylors? This guy's insane. Oh my God. I couldn't even tell you the first name brand I ever bought. I think I broke down and cried. I think I dropped to my knees and cried the first time I had a name brand, anything. I told you guys, it's hard to find now, but if you Google it, we used to get all our groceries from the no frills aisle. God, my left leg fell asleep. Oh my God, I might have to stretch for a second. Oh, it's asleep. Do you still water down your orange juice? I sure do, my friend. So we would get all our groceries in the no frills section, and no joke, I bet you there's only a couple people out there that are old enough to remember this shit. Well, you have to be old enough and poor enough back in the day, but everything was a white label, so it would just say peas on a white label or whatever. And then they had knockoff cereal that was, instead of Frosted Flakes, it was like Frosted, Frosted Things. Yeah, I think one of them was called Frosted Things. But look it up online for yourself. And our cupboard was just filled with everything with a white label. Now, I'm not mocking my my mom on that one because she tried her hardest, man. She had 7, 8, 9 kids in the house. And, she had to make ends meet. So there was no way she could buy the regular stuff for 7, 8, 9 kids. So she cut corners wherever she could. Thus, then the apples with the bruises in them, because you got a little discount with all the fruit that was kind of going bad. So we had a lot of fruit that was kind of going bad in our house. Our bananas were always very ripe when they came into the house. And then the guy asked if I watered down my orange juice. Yeah, to this day, because my mom would, she would get orange juice. We come from a time where they said orange juice was actually good for you. Look it up. A lot of nutritionists will tell you most orange juices, you might as well just have a soda. That is a fact, but we didn't know that back then. And then she would take like a half gallon of orange juice and make it into a gallon. A gallon. It was half and half. Half water, half orange juice. So to this day, when we get orange juice, I do put a little water in it because that's how I like it. The worst was the powdered milk. I don't even know if this is around anymore because it was so god awful. I don't know if they even could sell it anymore, but it was just dried milk. And then you add the water to it. It was terrible. And then, there was always a half gallon of regular milk there. And when no one was looking, you would try to squeeze a little bit on your cereal with the dried milk to try to make that taste better. Sounds like prison orange juice. Someone tweeted like the old school orange juice can where it's frozen and you had to like use a can opener and then you push the can opener lid down a little bit to try to get to the frozen orange juice, and then you would try to like remove all of that from the can and throw it in a pitcher, add water and mix it up, and that's how we made orange juice growing up. A lot of you guys know that one at least. But that's stupid orange juice can to this day. I almost lost my left thumb because I was pushing down on the lid that was just opened by the can opener, and it's razor sharp, and I pushed down the wrong way and sliced my thumb pretty much in half. And to this day, all these years later, I still have a very significant scar on my left thumb. You should stick with Tang. Did you not listen to me 10 minutes ago? We dreamed of having Tang in our house. Jenna? Oh, these privileged people on my live stream. You should have stuck with Tang. I could honestly say we never bought one thing of Tang for our household. That was another one of those things when you went to somebody else's house, they had the Tang, and you would just drink it and start weeping at how good it was. Tang, the drink of astronauts. That's right. You can look up a clip on the YouTube, and there's an astronaut, and he was caught on a live mic farting. He was blaming it on the Tang.
Okay, and I sure think it's paying off. You guys did an outstanding job.
I got the forks again. I got them again, Charlie. I mean, I haven't eaten this much citrus fruit in 20 years. And I'll tell you one thing. In another 12 fucking days, I ain't never eating any more. I put them up over right up in there. They ain't there? Oh, shit.
Orion, Houston.
Yes, sir.
Okay, John, where you have a hot mic.
How long we had that?
Luigi, do you own a gun? Yes, I own a gun. Yes. We have a gun problem in America. Oh my God, he's going there, Harry! Harry, get over here! He's gonna talk about guns in America! Yes, we have a gun problem in America, but we're also completely incapable of trying to figure it out. So I think the solution, unfortunately, is going to be to just keep buying more guns. Of course, we have a gun problem in America, and that will get people fired up. But I'm also the guy that'll tell you that we will never solve the gun problem in America. We have a bunch of dummies in Washington. They can't figure that out. Do you think they're going to figure that out? Get the fuck out of here. Where it makes everybody happy? No. Jenna with the amen. Oh, thank you. Because when you have these mass shootings, what happens is everyone just digs in. Dig, 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 dig. You're not taking my goddamn guns. Dig, 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 dig. I think they should ban all guns. Dig, 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 dig. And then nothing changes. Nothing changes. No, I don't think I'm old, Michelle, but I lived long enough to see all sorts of dramatic changes in my life. We're talking about two of them right here today. Right here. Right now. That's why if I lose all my money, and it's certainly looking that's the direction I'm going in, and that, oh boy, will that make the haters happy. I've lived most of my life without having any money, so I don't really give a fuck. As long as my family's happy and my kids are happy, that's all I give a fuck about. So in my lifetime, getting back to that point, I went from extremely poor to extremely rich to, trying to hold on to some things. And also, I also was that guy that didn't give a worry in the world about anything when I was younger. And now I worry, and I'm on the side of let's do the right thing and try to get as many people vaccinated as possible. Stephen C. See, this is the craziest. Opie took the vax for a virus with a 99.5% recovery rate. I sure did, and I don't even know if that number is right there, Stephen C. I sure did. Why does that bother you? I guess it bothers me that people are not getting vaccinated. So I guess we can relate on some type of level here. But you know what? I also realize that I guess in the end, that's your choice, right? I'm not going to follow you and try to find your live stream and go, why aren't you getting vaccinated? Jimbo Morrison, you leaving us? Got to go weld on this truck. Love you, man. Stay cool. Thank you, Jimbo Morrison. I like seeing your name pop up every morning. You're one of the newer people. I love seeing, the regulars like the Crumb Bum and the Brian Parnas and the Benjamin Tucker and the Jeffrey Geis and the Rachel and the Milt Miranda. Those are names just popping up that I know. It bothers me because they use the virus to lick us up. I don't know what lick us up means, Stephen C. It mostly affects the elderly and Cuomo-filled senior homes. Yeah, well, first of all, oh my God, dude, you don't know anyone that died from this thing? The virus does not affect anyone really under 60. That is not true. I know 2 people under 60 that died of the coronavirus. That's just not true. If you're under 60 and if you get the coronavirus, I can't even quote facts. I know in general this affects older people way more. I get all that. But do you have any old people in your life? You don't give a fuck about them? Is that what it is? There were, I should say, a bunch of older people in my life that, God, if they were alive, especially, I would be doing everything I can to keep them safe. Yeah, this whole thing was a fucking drag, but God, am I the only one that really gives a shit about older people? Although I do have to say, I'm telling you, that's why you got to check out my live streams, because, there are people out there that just are laser focused with their point and they don't want to veer off at all. So, Stephen, I'm going to actually be on your side a little bit. I could speak for my dad and his VFW Hall buddies. Would they have gotten vaccinated if they could? Yes, they would have. But would they have lived their lives not scared of this thing? Oh, my God, yes, they would have. These guys, I love talking about these guys. There was a group of them. My dad used to hang out at the VFW Hall in Kings Park out here on Long Island. He loved going there pretty much a couple days a week, and he hung out with his buddies. It made me very, very happy that he had a little crew of guys. They were all old. At the time, my dad was going there. He was in his late 60s, early 70s. He only made it to 74 years old. But the guys at the VFW Hall were definitely a lot older than my dad at the time. They were all in their 80s, early 80s, late 70s, whatever. Those guys lived their lives and didn't give 2 shits about anything. They all had terrible cancer they were fighting, and they would just drink and make fun of each other, make fun of each other's cancers. Like, it was such an eye-opener going there as a younger gentleman. Such an eye-opener. They weren't scared to death, and they joked their way all the way to the grave. So I could speak for my dad and his crew at the Kings Park VFW Hall. At this point, pretty much all of them are gone. All of them. That's crazy to think. Oh, my God. I would stop in when I worked at, like, WBAB. So this is a million years ago. To think all those guys are definitely gone now is like, wow, that tugs on the heartstrings. But those guys were absolutely awesome, and it was such a great life lesson to live your life to the fullest. And those guys certainly did. Your dad was in the military? Hell yeah, he was. He was in the Navy. He flew over the Capitol for one of the inaugurations back in the day. I posted the pictures on my Facebook. I posted it all over the place. Maybe I can find those pictures again. But, I forgot who was being inaugurated. But my dad was like the official Navy photographer. And he's got crowd shots as this president was being inaugurated. Oh, my God. I forgot which one. Shit. One of my siblings is watching this right now. They're yelling at their screen. Idiot. But my dad didn't see a lot of action. He was in the Navy around the time where we were sort of, in between all sorts of shit. Nothing wrong with a heated discussion, LOL. Stephen C., 100%, man. I got to pride myself on this. I'm not looking for an audience that just agrees with what I say and do. I'm not looking for that. There's plenty of shows that do that. They just want an audience that completely agrees with them. And that's that. I've never been that guy. I mean, I got exhausted by the Trump stuff and didn't want to fucking talk about Trump 24 hours a day. I'll be honest with you. But I'm already beating up Biden. I beat up Trump pretty good. I'm already starting to beat up Biden. New York City stinks. Tired of this cesspool. Eton Burke. I'm with you, man. It was weird. Way out here, people are just nice. You go into town to get some things done, and someone just says hi to you, and you go, what do you want? You're not used to people just being nice. In New York City, if someone approaches you, they just want something. You learn that very quickly living in New York City. Oh, this person's coming up and just saying, hey, hi, how are you? And you're like, oh, boy, what do they want? So you're kind of shell-shocked when you live way out here on Long Island and you go to town and people are nice. You're like, you want to scream in their face, what do you want? But they don't want anything. They're just like, hey, what's up? You're a human. I'm a human. Let's interact for a minute or two. Benjamin Tucker says, have to punch out. Got to jump in the shower. Have a nice day all. You know what? If Benjamin Tucker's tapping out, then so am I.
Boo, 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 boo. Radio. Boo, 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 boo. Boom, 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 boom. Boo, 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 boo. Boo, 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 boo.